Good morning, daydreamers. So this is going to be an ongoing project that I do between different other projects, and it is to redo this costume into something completely different. Instead of a costume, I'm going to do it as a part of decoration. I have the entire costume, which includes the skirt, the body piece, the necklace, the dream catcher, the dream catching sky, the headpiece with the dreads and the wings, all to redo. I already have an idea of what I want to do with it. And let me see if I can zoom in. I want to retake the skirt and change the colors. I'm changing the entire aesthetic. And so it's going to take a bit. But first things first, this first video is going to be changing the skirt. So changing the colors. I've established a color palette, which I will share at the end of this. Taking this apart and mixing up colors to get started on that. I'm going to be reusing different elements, different fabrics from my home, and some curtains and things to make it look cool. And then throughout time, other elements will be added to the skirt because I have a really cool idea to make this like a poetic literature kind of nature fairy. But it's going to take some time because many of the things I want to do on the skirt, each individual item would be a mixed media video in and of itself. But I hope that you will join me and enjoy this creation. And this is the beginning. I wish I could I don't know if I can turn the camera this way and it still show up in the video, but this is the full fairy. I'm over 7 feet tall with the headpiece. I'm 5'3" to 5'4", and once I would have it on, I would end up being that tall, which was a real pain trying to walk through things. But it's a very cool outfit, and it should turn into a really cool statement piece in my office. As you can see, there is a beautiful antique dress form underneath, and I want to make that more of the aesthetic. So let's see what we're gonna do. Turn it back. So I have these ribbons that I had hanging up on a window, but I think that this color palette and these ribbons would be the perfect choice for what I'm wanting to do with that fairy. So this tells you my color palette and kind of gives you an idea of where I'm going. And so I'm tacking it on to the end of the first video that I've made where I'm showing you what I'm doing. And then the next video I make will actually be me mixing up the colors to match this, so that I can spray things and I can dye sheets and things I already have and papers eventually to match this. But I think this is going to be perfect. It's colorful. It allows me to bring in some vintage elements. It allows me to bring in prisms and chains and keys and things like I will be wanting to do. And it is a complete opposite of what is there now. So this is the color palette. Greens and purples and blues and pinks and yellows and peaches. It's a rainbow. It's a forest. It's a meadow. It's an ocean floor. It's everything you could imagine you want in like happy, glowy effervescence. And that, I believe, is where I'm going to be going with it. Different textures, different colors, different fibers. Just a cacophony of wonderfulness that I'm repurposing. So like I said, first things first, I want to establish the color palette. I can't actually see my screen as I'm doing this, so these first few videos might be a little off, but this is the colors that I want to make. So I am going to gather some supplies so that I can start making them for you, and I'll take you through one and then show you the different products. So I am back. I hope this is recording. Yes. I'm back. I've gathered up the different micas and pigments and inks I want to use. Actually, I think I will pull, oh, excuse me. I think I will pull this and maybe this out as well. Why? That's a good question. So, and that. Now, do you need this many things to create a stain or a dye? No, of course you don't. And if you're not going to be running whatever you're doing through the washing machine, you don't have to worry about it being water safe or anything like that. I'm not going to be running what I do through the washing machine because it's going to have all sorts of beads and metal bits attached to it, and it is purely for decorative reasons. But what I would like to do is capture, oh, I wish I could see my camera. I would like to capture this purple with the blue undertone, this very periwinkle-esque color. And some of this comes from using a couple of different stains when I sprayed the ribbon, but I can get a really nice base off of just one color. And so while I'm going to be doing a lot of this, so I would normally use a much larger spray bottle, this is what I have on hand. I don't want to empty my bigger ones, so this is what I'm going to be using. So to start out, I've pulled some inks that I have, an Adirondack Stonewashed re-inker, some distressed re-inkers, a couple of alcohol colors, alcohol inks. These are primary element pigments, which are a blend of dyes, and mica pigments. These are mica pigments, and this is also a blend of dyes and pigments and mica. And so all of them, just a little bit of this and that, should make a very magical, very beautiful looking potion. So I'm going to start with the dry colors, and this is, in case you're wanting to make things with the same colors that I'm using, this is Primary Elements Periwinkle, and I love this color. It's got gorgeous, gorgeous blue mica shifts and this purpley blue base. It is just absolutely magical. So let me see if I can look under here and get this centered up nicely. I will put it right there. This is the first thing I'm going to add, and I'm just going to add, since I have so many things I'm adding, I'm just going to add a bit of a scoop, a little bit more. And whenever I end up using these later, I will be watering it down as I use it, so I don't have to worry about how strong I make it. And then the next one I'm going to use is called Iris Petal. It's very, very close to the periwinkle, but as you can see, there's a bit more blue in it. So it just creates those gorgeous shifts as it plays out on the fabrics or paper, because I'll be using it on paper as well. So I'll add a little bit of that, just a little. And then next, I'm going to add, this is very, as you can see, it's very, very more pinkish purple, but it'll bring in some of these gorgeous splotches, and this is called Royal Satin. I'm going to add just a bit of that, wipe this off again. And just the smallest amount. And you wouldn't think it'll be that much, but it really is. This is going to be very strong once everything's added. And then this one here is called Witch's Potion Purple. And again, it has some of those almost glow-in-the-dark purple shifts, blue shifts in it that will just set off any element that this is sprayed on whenever I start truly creating. And I don't have much left, but I'm going to add a little bit. I don't even know if all of these are still available. Like I said, I haven't bought items in a while because I have not been heavily creating, but it's time to start doing that again. So I'm going to use what I have for now. This is Perfect Pearls. It gets wet. It'll end up sticking as it gets wet. This is called Grape Fizz, and again, it's bringing in more of the pink, those hints of an almost glow-in-the-dark kind of purpley raspberry color, and just very little. And because a lot of this is mica, it's not going to blend and create like a one color of mica. You're going to have all these different shadows playing in your final element. And then this is Sweet Lavender pigment, just mica pigments. And as you can see, it's just a really pretty lavender periwinkle kind of mica. And I really want a lot of that to show. So I'm going to do a couple of scoops of it. And that is all of the dry aspects. And what I'm going to do before I start adding ink is making a mess. I am going to drop am I still in screen? I am. I'm going to drop a couple of glass beads in. Because I want it to mix up well when I start adding my liquid. So I'm going to drop a couple of glass beads in, and that'll help it mix better. I recommend using glass beads because I once had like 100 different mixes, and I used what was supposed to be non-rusting stainless steel beads in it, and it rusted every single bottle and turned everything brown, and I don't recommend that. So next I'm going to take some distilled water, and I'm just going to take it out of my water bottle because it's easier right now, and pour that in about halfway up. And then I'm going to shake it up and kind of get an idea of what I'm at just with the pigments. So let me get a lid out. See how long that is. Okay, perfect. If you buy your spray bottles and your tube that is going to be spraying out of, if it goes all the way to the bottom like that, if it's longer than the bottom, you want to cut a little bit off so it doesn't get clogged up with all the stuff in it. But let's put it in, shake it up real good till everything's mixed well, and then I'm going to give it a spray and see what we have. So as you can see right now, that is a beautiful purple color. I don't really need a lot of the dyes, to be honest, because wow, that's pretty. But I'm going to add some because I want a little more of the blue to come out. So I'm going to take this out, and I'm going to drop in like, I think 1 drop, maybe 2 drops of this stone washed. Shake. 1, 2, because I really, 3, because I am going to be watering it down. So there's 4 drops of that, and I'm going to put in a little of this Purple Twilight alcohol ink, because I like bringing it back into that tone. 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 drops of that. I've got these alcohol inks I haven't really used, and I don't know how they work in things. So of course, let's blindly put it in. That would be stupid. Oh, that's very dark. I don't think I want to use that. I am glad I did that. But I am going to bring in a bit of the Distress ink in both Milled Lavender. Just 1, 2, 3. And the Dusty Concord. One, two, three. And then I'm going to add more water. Put the dropper back in. I mean, look at that swirl. How gorgeous is that in there? Mix it up. And can you see all that swirling? How beautiful is that? Let's see what color it is, shall we? Move this down some. These are not going to be good sprayers. Great. Every now and then you get a dud sprayer, and it looks like this is a dud sprayer. Yeah, I'm going to have to pull out another sprayer. I hate when that happens. But it's good that y'all see it on camera. That way you know that it happens. But this looks like it's about the same color as before. And if you, I'll bring it up closer so you can really see it. It doesn't have quite as much blue as that does in it, but it will once it's watered down. And I'm also creating a blue one. So it will be really pretty. As you can see, it kind of brings in some of these stronger tones. And because I love this shade of purple so much, I think it would be perfect for me. Let me dry this off so that you can then see it dry, because it will shift color slightly dry. So I dried it off camera because unfortunately my lights will flash and also it's loud. But as you can see, let me raise it up closer. With it dried, the blues have come out more, the more periwinkle blues. And as you look at it from different angles, the purples and the pink and the purples kind of pop more. So I don't know if it's showing up on camera because I cannot see my screen. And often micas don't show up on camera accurately. In person, this is going to be absolutely breathtaking, magical. So that is one of the colors that I will be doing this new costume in. And I'm going to go ahead and mix up all the other colors, and then I will show y'all what each color is. And I guess what I can do for y'all is I'll go ahead and record each one, but I'll just speed through it so you don't having to take a lot of time watching it. I have cut this so that it is a little bit higher, so that whenever the pigments are at the bottom, they're not getting trapped there. And so for this one, I'm gonna do the pink one now, and I'll spray it on this outer edge, and then you'll see them blending together kind of. you can see, this is the brown, how pretty that is, with all the different shades of gold and brown popping up through, which will be a nice base soft look. But whenever I want it to be heavy like that, I'll just go in. I'll show y'all what I do whenever I start working on it, but I'll be able to bring out these patches of this. And so let's take this one that I've been drying everything off of, and I reuse these and show you what we have. So for our base layers on what we're doing, we have this beautiful, and see, you've got all that pigment in the bottom, so you really want to mix it up good. So we have this purple. Let me do it this way. So, because I just don't want to spray everything everywhere, you have this purple. Probably should just spray it as a base. Then we have the pink. Then we have the blue. Green. The orange. And the brown. There. And so let me dry them again. So these are the base colors that I'm starting with, and I will end up getting from them to this and with some other things, and this is what it's going to end up looking like. And this is the end of the first video. I hope y'all will come back and watch more. It's been a long time since years since I have made any arts and craft videos. So the more I get in practice, the cleaner and nicer it will look. But this is realistic crafting and realistic art stuff. I'm not going to try to be extra pretty for y'all because that just takes more time, and I'd rather be creating than the making video. So I'm going to make really realistic video. Hopefully you'll come back and watch it, and I'm really excited to see where this goes because I have an envision for what I want this fairy sculpture to look like, and I think it's going to be just something magical, especially with all the poetry elements that I'm going to include into it and the nature elements that I plan on bringing into it. And I think it's just going to be breathtaking once I finish it. So please come back and watch me along the process. I have no idea how long it's going to take. I'm going to be doing it in between other things because, like I said before, elements of what I'm doing are going to be individual videos in and of themselves because they will take hours to do. Along the skirt, I imagine once I finish the skirt, I will have easily put 100 hours or more into the skirt, just making individual elements for it. But I like the details. I like having surprises in art. I like when you go up to art that you see every time you look at it, you see something new. And this is going to be like the main feature in my office. So I'd really like anytime somebody sees it, there to be something new, and for me to constantly be adding new things to it. To catch somebody by surprise, miniature books and all sorts of things. So it should be quite cool. I hope you enjoy it. I hope to see you soon, and may your muse shine brightly.